Markuann, what's one of the biggest obstacles that you face?
Oh man, I can tell you, I used to work at a company called BET, Black Entertainment Television. The reason I started working there, and that was in 2000, is because I had a Fed charge. So I had to have a job. You know, I remember going to 500 Pearl Street and I didn't know what was going to happen. And they gave me 3 years probation. So within that 3 years probation, to be on federal probation, that's like being on a, I don't know, like they come to your house, they have to know the blueprint of your house, where you live at, whoever, right? So I had to find a job. I was rapping at the time. I was signed to Whitney Houston's label. She had a label called A Better Place Records under her nickname Nippy at the time, Nippy Inc. And my probation officer was like, nah, you don't have a real job. You're not making any money. You need to get a job. So I remember I got hired at BET, and I used to have to come downstairs and stick my head outside. Because the probation officer would be like, stick your head outside so I know where you at, that you're at work, right? So I was, after my 3 years of probation, I stayed at BET. I was at BET for like 15 years. Now, BET was bought by Viacom in 1999, right? Bob Johnson sold his company. Long story short. 2015, Viacom said, you know what, we gave you 15 years to get your stuff together, because we moved from Uptown. It was really at 106 and Park. 106 and Park in Harlem, 106 and Park, yeah. So we came down to 57th Street, the BMW building, because they wanted the monitors more. 2015, they said, you know what, we're coming to take over and have more of a microscopic of what's happening in BET. So now when we look across, there's no more BET HR, BET Finance, BET nothing, right? And I was working in BET, I didn't feel like I was being creative, I felt like I just had a job. And my job, I was working in music programming. So being the fact, what I did was, 106 in Park, if you wanted your video in high rotation, medium rotation, or low rotation, I was part of that. Big shout out to Tuma Basa and Kelly G. I worked with them, right? So after 16 years of being in the cubicle, sneaking out in the middle of the afternoon to go audition because I'm acting, and hearing somebody tell me, you know, where's your black ass back? You're not back here, it's 40 minutes of lunch. I got tired of that rat race. I got tired of waking up Sunday morning and have to go to work Monday. You know, people were like, you work for BET, but it wasn't about BET. I'm a creator. I got tired of being in that little cubicle and that little space in the dark where people were just coming with videos. Oh, that's just the video guy. So 2015, I got a call from my boss who said, hey Markuann, we have a team meeting. Make sure you don't miss it. And this is a person that's been my boss for over 15 years, right? I said, I'm not gonna miss it. Make sure you don't miss it. 3 o'clock came. It wasn't a team meeting. It was my boss, his boss, and HR. My boss says to me, hey Markuann. His boss says, Markuann, you've been here for 15 years, but my boss says, basically they're saying, we don't need you anymore. They gave me $4,000 for severance for 16 years of being at BET. I had to figure it out. I live in Midtown. My rent is $2,500 to $3,000 a month. I was scared. I didn't want to go back to that place that I left back in '99 where I was hustling. So that was one of the scariest things I had to do, to figure out how I was going to survive and get this show sold that I believed in since 2000.
And that show was what? Which one?
The Godfather.
Okay. Jay, your toughest obstacle that you faced?
You know, I'm kind of weird with my thoughts, because again, I never look at anything being tough. I just look at it being part of the plan.
Right.
So when people ask me those questions, I could never even throw anything out. But what I could do is piggyback off of what he was saying about to videos, because that part right there is what made us, as far as FUBU, as far as getting us clothes out there, as far as marketing and things like that. And there came a time when that started dying.
Right.
You know, every artist started getting their own clothing line. So then, like, they don't want the FUBUs anymore. So how are we going to keep our clothes out there? How are we going to do that?
Right.
And again, that's when I had the epiphany in saying, well, maybe we could start our own network. So that's how I transitioned into Forusbyus FUBU network.
Right. And for you guys, you have Markuann.
No, I wanted to say, Jay, but even before that, I knew that, well, I don't know, I'm asking you this question. I know the hardships you guys went through to formulate FUBU before it became FUBU, where you probably was eating the tuna fish and the ramen noodles.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, I had, what would I have back in my days? I had chicken wings and pork fried rice and 50-cent beer.
Yeah.
And I had it twice a week.
Yeah.
Pretty much twice a week.
Yeah.
If not once.
Yep.
And to the point where my stomach shrunk to where if I ate anything bigger than that or more than that, then I would feel needles and pins in my stomach. But then again, it kept me nice and slim, so I, you know what I mean? But it's all good.